Welcome to the first session of Akaliko audio. In these sessions, we are hoping that the realization of the true nature of the mind helps us all free our minds by cleansing it. We will learn a technique in this very session that helps us wash our mind of the impurities and therefore come upon inner peace. The inner peace we generate will in turn create outer peace. Let's start with the concept of Nontime and see where it originates from. Akaliko, which is the concept of Nontime, is found in ancient Buddhism. In the scripts, it reads Swakatho Bhagavato Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipassiko Opanaiko. The meaning of this is that when you conduct an unbiased experimentation at this moment by observing your mind, observing the process of thought, we will be able to see that the arising and the cessation of thought happens at the same time. The beginning and the end of a thought coming and going happens at the same time. Seeing this, the realization of this, is what brings us to this state of Nontime. Because thoughts are always in the past or the future. I need to do that. I should have done this. Why am I doing that? When we become free from thought, because we see that thought arises and ceases at the same time, that every thought arises and ceases at the same time, we can see that thought is empty. The mind is empty. Gautama Buddha explained that the whole world, including all beings, are caught in this immense emptiness. The Buddha explains there are no elements, no solidity, no liquidity, no heat, no air. There are no trances, no world, no other worlds, no sun, no moon. There is no one who comes, and there is no one who goes. There is no one who lives, no one who dies, no one who is born. Nothing can be established, nothing can be held. There is no consciousness and no thought. Take a moment to reflect on that. The world, the concept of the world, is made by thought. If there is no thought, then what remains? So the origins of Nontime can be seen to be deeply embedded in ancient Buddhism. Now, how does that relate to the world that we live in at the moment? Because the world that we live in is experienced through a human perspective. What I need to do, where I need to be. It's almost like a local perspective that is relative to our experiences. All of our experiences help us gain memory, and based off this memory, we have relative responses. This state of Nontime that gets spoken about is where non-relative action comes from. Because no longer are we relying upon memory for action. However, the action is being generated from truth. The truth is gained by practicing this technique where we see that the arising and the cessation of thought happens at the same time. Therefore, when we're looking at things or we're observing, Our thought is not describing what we're seeing. However, we stay in that pure observation, and the accumulation of truth generates action. So, the state of being Nontime, letting every thought go as soon as they arise, allows us to be experiencing this immense emptiness of the mind, which is the path to enlightenment, the path to seeing everything as they exactly are. This immense emptiness of the mind is not only applicable to the inner, it is also applicable to the outer. Modern advancements in scientific research reinforce this state of Nontime. In 2022, the Nobel Prize went to 3 scientists who found that under quantum mechanics, nature is not locally real. Particles may lack properties prior to measurement. When we look at this, we can see that there's a deep underlying connection between thought, observation, measurement, and reality. Now, this phenomenon of Nontime is what we can observe when we have a look beyond the human perspective. Thank you very much for joining. Today we discussed the Nontime, which is the reality of this universe, completely different from the time element that we're used to in the conventional world. We'll continue a few more of these sessions about the Nontime phenomenon in the future, but we will also go into other concepts that we can find in ancient Buddhism. Thank you.